The expense of spirit in a waste of shame is lust in action, and till action, lust is perjured, murderous, bloody, full of blame, savage, extreme, rude, cruel, not to trust, enjoyed no sooner but despised straight, past reason hunted, and no sooner had past reason hated as a swallowed bait on purpose laid to make the taker mad. Mad in pursuit and in possession so, had, having, and in quest to have, extreme, a bliss in proof, and proved a very woe, before a joy proposed, behind a dream. All this the world well knows, yet none knows well to shun the heaven that leads men to this hell.
My mistress' eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her lips red. If snow be white, why then her breasts are dun. If hairs be wires, black wires grow on her head. I have seen roses damasked red and white, but no such roses see I in her cheeks. And in some perfumes is there more delight than in the breath that from my mistress reeks. I love to hear her speak, yet well I know that music hath a far more pleasing sound. I grant I never saw a goddess go. My mistress, when she walks, treads on the ground. And yet, by heaven, I think my love as rare as any she belied with false compare.
Thou art as tyrannous, so as thou art, as those whose beauties proudly make them cruel. For well thou knowest, to my dear doting heart, thou art the fairest and most precious jewel. Yet in good faith some say that thee behold, thy face hath not the power to make love groan. To say they err, I dare not be so bold, although I swear it to myself alone. And, to be sure, that is not false, I swear, 1,000 groans, but thinking on thy face, one on another's neck do witness bear. Thy black is fairest in my judgment's place. In nothing art thou black, save in thy deeds, and thence this slander, as I think, proceeds.
Thine eyes I love, and they, as pitying me, knowing thy heart torment me with disdain, have put on black, and loving mourners be, looking with pretty ruth upon my pain. And truly, not the morning sun of heaven better becomes the grey cheeks of the east, nor that full star that ushers in the even doth half that glory to the sober west, as those two mourning eyes become thy face. O let it then as well beseem thy heart to mourn for me, since mourning doth thee grace, and suit thy pity like in every part. Then will I swear beauty herself is black, and all they foul that thy complexion lack.
Beshrew that heart that makes my heart to groan, for that deep wound it gives my friend and me. Is't not enough to torture me alone, but slave to slavery my sweetest friend must be? Me from myself thy cruel eye hath taken, and my next self thou harder hast engrossed. Of him, myself, and thee I am forsaken, a torment thrice threefold thus to be crossed. Prison my heart in thy steel bosom's ward, but then my friend's heart let my poor heart bail. Whoe'er keeps me, let my heart be his guard. Thou canst not then use rigour in my jail. And yet thou wilt, for I, being pent in thee, perforce am thine, and all that is in me.
So now I have confessed that he is thine, and I myself am mortgaged to thy will. Myself I'll forfeit, so that other mine thou wilt restore, to be my comfort still. But thou wilt not, nor he will not be free, for thou art covetous, and he is kind. He learned but surety like to write for me, under that bond that him as fast doth bind. The statute of thy beauty thou wilt take, thou usurer that put'st forth all to use, and sue a friend came debtor for my sake. So him I lose through my unkind abuse. Him have I lost, thou hast both him and me. He pays the whole, and yet am I not free.
Whoever hath her wish, thou hast thy will, and will to boot, and will in overplus. More than enough am I that vex thee still, to thy sweet will making addition thus. Wilt thou, whose will is large and spacious, not once vouchsafe to hide my will in thine? Shall will in others seem right gracious, and in my will no fair acceptance shine? The sea, all water, yet receives rain still, and in abundance addeth to his store. So thou, being rich in will, add to thy will one will of mine, to make thy large will more. Let no unkind, no fair beseechers kill, think all but one, and me in that one will.
If thy soul check thee that I come so near, swear to thy blind soul that I was thy will, and will, thy soul knows, is admitted there. Thus far for love, my love suit sweet, fulfill. Will fulfill the treasure of thy love. Aye, fill it full with wills, and my will one. In things of great receipt with ease we prove, among a number one is reckoned none. Then in the number let me pass untold, though in thy store's account I one must be. For nothing hold me, so it please thee hold, that nothing me a something sweet to thee. Make but my name thy love, and love that still, and then thou lov'st me, for my name is Will.
Thou blind fool, love, what dost thou to mine eyes, that they behold and see not what they see? They know what beauty is, see where it lies, yet what the best is, take the worst to be. If eyes, corrupt by over-partial looks, be anchored in the bay where all men ride, why of eyes' falsehood hast thou forged hooks whereto the judgment of my heart is tied? Why should my heart think that a several plot, which my heart knows the wide world's commonplace, or mine eyes, seeing this, say this is not to put fair truth upon so foul a face? In things right true my heart and eyes have erred, and to this false plague are they now transferred.
When my love swears that she is made of truth, I do believe her, though I know she lies, that she might think me some untutored youth, unlearned in the world's false subtleties. Thus vainly thinking that she thinks me young, although she knows my days are past the best, simply I credit her false-speaking tongue. On both sides thus is simple truth suppressed. But wherefore says she not she is unjust, and wherefore say not I that I am old? O, love's best habit is in seeming trust, and age in love loves not to have years told. Therefore I lie with her, and she with me, and in our faults by lies we flattered be.
O call me not to justify the wrong that thy unkindness lays upon my heart. Wound me not with thine eye, but with thy tongue. Use power with power, and slay me not by art. Tell me thou lovest elsewhere, but in my sight, dear heart, forbear to glance thine eye aside. What needst thou wound with cunning, when thy might is more than my o'erpressed defence can bide? Let me excuse thee. Ah, my love well knows how pretty looks have been mine enemies, and therefore from my face she turns my foes, that they elsewhere might dart their injuries. Yet do not so. But since I am near slain, kill me outright with looks, and rid my pain.
Be wise as thou art cruel. Do not press my tongue-tied patience with too much disdain, lest sorrow lend me words, and words express the manner of my pity-wanting pain. If I might teach thee wit, better it were, though not to love, yet love to tell me so. As testy sick men, when their deaths be near, no news but health from their physicians know. For if I should despair, I should grow mad, and in my madness might speak ill of thee. Now this ill-resting world is grown so bad, mad slanderers by mad ears believed be. That I may not be so, nor thou belied, bear thine eyes straight, though thy proud heart go wide.
In faith, I do not love thee with mine eyes, for they in thee 1,000 errors note. But 'tis my heart that loves what they despise, who in despite of view is pleased to dote. Nor are mine ears with thy tongue's tune delighted, nor tender feeling to base touches prone, nor taste nor smell desired to be invited to any sensual feast with thee alone. But my 5 wits, nor my 5 senses, can dissuade one foolish heart from serving thee, who leaves unswayed the likeness of a man, thy proud heart's slave and vassal wretch to be. Only my plague thus far I count my gain, that she that makes me sin awards me pain.
Love is my sin, and thy dear virtue hate. Hate of my sin grounded on sinful loving. Oh, but with mine compare thou thine own state, and thou shalt find it merits not reproving. Or if it do, not from those lips of thine that have profaned their scarlet ornaments, and sealed false bonds of love as oft as mine, robbed others' beds' revenues of their rents. Be it lawful I love thee, as thou lov'st those whom thine eyes woo as mine importune thee. Root pity in thy heart, that when it grows, thy pity may deserve to pitied be. If thou dost seek to have what thou dost hide, by self-example mayst thou be denied.
Lo, as a careful housewife runs to catch one of her feathered creatures broke away, sets down her babe, and makes all swift dispatch in pursuit of the thing she would have stay, whilst her neglected child holds her in chase, cries to catch her whose busy care is bent to follow that which flies before her face, not prizing her poor infant's discontent. So runn'st thou after that which flies from thee, whilst I, thy babe, chase thee afar behind. But if thou catch thy hope, turn back to me and play the mother's part. Kiss me, be kind. So will I pray that thou mayst have thy will, if thou turn back, and my loud crying still. 2 loves I have, of comfort and despair, which like 2 spirits do suggest me still. The better angel is a man right fair, the worser spirit a woman coloured ill. To win me soon to hell my female evil tempteth my better angel from my side, and would corrupt my saint to be a devil, wooing his purity with her foul pride. And whether that my angel be turned fiend, suspect I may, yet not directly tell. But being both from me, both to each friend, I guess one angel in another's hell. Yet this shall I ne'er know, but live in doubt, till my bad angel fire my good one out.
Those lips that love's own hand did make breathed forth the sound that said, I hate, to me that languished for her sake. But when she saw my woeful state, straight in her heart did mercy come, chiding that tongue that ever sweet was used in giving gentle doom, and taught it thus anew to greet. I hate she altered, with an end that followed it, as gentle day doth follow night, who, like a fiend, from heaven to hell is flown away. I hate from hate away she threw, and saved my life, saying, not you.
Poor soul, the centre of my sinful earth, thrall to these rebel powers that thee array, why dost thou pine within, and suffer dearth, painting thy outward walls so costly gay? Why so large cost, having so short a lease, dost thou upon thy fading mansion spend? Shall worms, inheritors of this excess, eat up thy charge? Is this thy body's end? Then, soul, live thou upon thy servant's loss, and let that pine to aggravate thy store, by terms divine in selling hours of dross, within be fed, without be rich no more. So shalt thou feed on death that feeds on men, and death once dead, there's no more dying then.
My love is as a fever, longing still for that which longer nurseth the disease, feeding on that which doth preserve the ill, of uncertain sickly appetite to please. My reason, the physician to my love, angry that his prescriptions are not kept, hath left me, and I desperate now approve, desire is death, which physic did accept. Past cure I am, now reason is past care, and frantic mad with evermore unrest. My thoughts and my discourse as madmen's are, at random from the truth vainly expressed. For I have sworn thee fair, and thought thee bright, who art as black as hell, as dark as night.
Oh me! What eyes hath love put in my head, which have no correspondence with true sight? Or if they have, where is my judgment fled, that censures falsely what they see aright? If that be fair, whereon my false eyes dote, what means the world to say it is not so? If it be not, then love doth well denote love's eye is not so true as all men's. No, how can it? Oh, how can love's eye be true, that is so vexed with watching and with tears? No marvel, then, though I mistake my view, the sun itself sees not till heaven clears. O cunning love, with tears thou keep'st me blind, lest eyes, well seeing, thy foul faults should find.
Canst thou, O cruel, say I love thee not, when I against myself with thee partake? Do I not think on thee when I forgot am of myself, all tyrant for thy sake? Who hateth thee that I do call my friend? On whom frown'st thou that I do fawn upon? Nay, if thou loust on me, do I not spend revenge upon myself with present moan? What merit do I in myself respect that is so proud thy service to despise, when all my best doth worship thy defect, commanded by the motion of thine eyes? But love, hate on, for now I know thy mind. Those that can see thou lov'st, and I am blind.
Oh, from what power hast thou this powerful might, with insufficiency my heart to sway? to make me give the lie to my true sight, and swear that brightness doth not grace the day? Whence hast thou this becoming of things ill, that in the very refuse of thy deeds there is such strength and warrantess of skill, that in my mind thy worst all best exceeds? Who taught thee how to make me love thee more, the more I hear and see just cause of hate? Although I love what others do abhor, with others thou shouldst not abhor my state. If thy unworthiness raised love in me, more worthy I to be beloved of thee.
Love is too young to know what conscience is, yet who knows not conscience is born of love? Then, gentle cheater, urge not my amiss, lest guilty of my faults thy sweet self prove. For thou betraying me, I do betray my nobler part to my gross body's treason. My soul doth tell my body that he may triumph in love. Flesh stays no farther reason, but rising at thy name doth point out thee as his triumphant prize. Proud of this pride he is contented thy poor drudge to be, to stand in thy affairs, fall by thy side. No want of conscience hold it that I call her love, for whose dear love I rise and fall.
In loving thee, thou know'st I am forsworn, but thou art twice forsworn to me, love swearing. In act thy bed vow broke, and new faith torn, in vowing new hate after new love bearing. But why of 2 oaths breach do I accuse thee when I break 20? I am perjured most, for all my vows are oaths but to misuse thee, and all my honest faith in thee is lost. For I have sworn deep oaths of thy deep kindness, oaths of thy love, thy truth, thy constancy, and to enlighten thee gave eyes to blindness, or made them swear against the thing they see. For I have sworn thee fair, more perjured I, to swear against the truth, so foul a lie.
Cupid laid by his brand and fell asleep. A maid of Dian's this advantage found, and his love-kindling fire did quickly steep in a cold valley fountain of that ground, which borrowed from this holy fire of love a dateless lively heat still to endure, and grew a seething bath which yet men prove against strange maladies a sovereign cure. But at my mistress I love's brand new fired. The boy for trial needs would touch my breast. I sick withal the help of bath desired, and thither hied a sad distempered guest, but found no cure. The bath for my help lies where Cupid got new fire, my mistress' eyes.
The little love-god lying once asleep laid by his side his heart-inflaming brand, whilst many nymphs that vowed chaste life to keep came tripping by. But in her maiden hand the fairest votary took up that fire, which many legions of true hearts had warmed, and so the general of hot desire was sleeping by a virgin hand disarmed. This brand she quenched in a cool well by, which from love's fire took heat perpetual, growing a bath and healthful remedy for men diseased. But I, my mistress' thrall, came there for cure, and this by that I prove: love's fire heats water, water cools not love.
A lover's complaint. From off a hill whose concave womb reworded a plaintful story from a sistering vale, my spirits to tend this double voice accorded, and down I laid to list the sad-tuned tale. Ere long, espied a fickle maid full pale, tearing of papers, breaking rings a-twain, storming her world with sorrow's wind and rain. Upon her head a plaited hive of straw, which fortified her visage from the sun, whereon the thought might think some time it saw the carcass of a beauty spent and done. Time had not scythed all that youth begun, nor youth all quit, but spite of heaven's fell rage, some beauty peeped through lattice of seared age. Oft did she heave her napkin to her eyne, which on it had conceited characters, laundering the silken figures in the brine that seasoned woe had pelleted in tears, and often reading what contents it bears, as often shrieking undistinguished woe in clamours of all sighs, both high and low. Sometimes her levelled eyes their carriage ride, as they did battery to the spheres intend. Sometime, diverted, their poor balls are tied to the orbed earth. Sometimes they do extend their view right on. Anon their gazes lend to every place at once, and nowhere fixed, the mind and sight distractedly commixed. Her hair, nor loose nor tied in formal plait, proclaimed in her a careless hand of pride. For some, untucked, descended her sheaved hat, hanging her pale and pined cheek beside. Some in her threaden fillet still did bide, and true to bondage would not break from thence, though slackly braided in loose negligence. 1,000 favours from a maund she drew, of amber, crystal, and of beaded jet, which one by one she in a river threw, upon whose weeping margin she was set, like usury applying wet to wet, or monarch's hand that lets not bounty fall where want cries some, but where excess begs all. Of folded schedules had she many a one, which she perused, sighed, tore, and gave the flood. Cracked many a ring of posied gold and bone, bidding them find their sepulchres in mud. Found yet more letters sadly penned in blood, with sladed silk feet, and affectedly enswathed and sealed to curious secrecy. These often bathed she in her fluxive eyes, and often kissed, and often gan to tear, cried, "O false blood, thou register of lies, what unapproved witness dost thou bear? Ink would have seemed more black and damned here." This said, in top of rage the line she rents, big discontent so breaking their contents. A reverend man that grazed his cattle nigh, sometime a blusterer, that the ruffle knew of court of city, and had let go by the swiftest hours, observed as they flew, towards this afflicted fancy fastly drew, and privileged by age, desires to know, in brief, the grounds and motives of her woe. So slides he down upon his grey-knit bat, and, comely distant, sits he by her side, when he again desires her, being sat, her grievance with his hearing to divide. If that from him there may be aught applied, which may her suffering ecstasy assuage, 'tis promised in the charity of age.
"Father,"
she says,
"though in me you behold the injury of many a blasting hour, let it not tell your judgment I am old. Not age, but sorrow over me hath power. I might as yet have been a spreading flower, fresh to myself, if I had self-applied love to myself, and to no love beside. But woe is me, Too early I attended a youthful suit. It was to gain my grace. O one by nature's outward so commended, that maiden's eyes stuck over all his face. Love lacked a dwelling, and made him her place, and when in his fair parts she did abide, she was new lodged and newly deified. His browny locks did hang in crooked curls, and every light occasion of the wind upon his lips their silken parcels hurls. What's sweet to do will aptly find. Each eye that saw him did enchant the mind, for on his visage was in little drawn what largeness thinks in paradise was sawn. Small show of man was yet upon his chin. His phoenix down began but to appear, like unshorn velvet, on that termless skin whose bare outbragged the web it seemed to wear, yet showed his visage by that cost more dear, and nice affections wavering stood in doubt, if best were as it was, or best without. His qualities were beauteous as his form, for maiden-tongued he was, and thereof free. Yet if men moved him, was he such a storm as oft 'twixt May and April is to see, when winds breathe sweet, unruly though they be. His rudeness so with his authorized youth did livery falseness in a pride of truth. Well could he ride, and often men would say, that horse his mettle from his rider takes. Proud of subjection, noble by the sway, what rounds, what bounds, what course, what stop he makes. And controversy hence a question takes, whether the horse by him became his deed, or he his menage by the well-doing steed. But quickly on this side the verdict went. His real habitude gave life and grace to appertainings and to ornament, accomplished in himself, not in his case. All aids, themselves made fairer by their place, came for additions, yet their purpose trim, pieced not his grace, but were all graced by him. So on the tip of his subduing tongue, all kind of arguments and question deep, all replication prompt and reason strong, for his advantage still did wake and sleep. To make the weeper laugh, the laugher weep, he had the dialect and different skill, catching all passions in his craft of will. That he did in the general bosom reign, of young, of old, and sexes both enchanted, to dwell with him in thoughts, or to remain in personal duty, following where he haunted, consents bewitched, ere he desire have granted, and dialogued for him what he would say, asked their own wills, and made their wills obey. Many there were that did his picture get to serve their eyes, and in it put their mind, like fools that in the imagination set the goodly objects which abroad they find, of lands and mansions, theirs in thought assigned, and labour in more pleasures to bestow them than the true gouty landlord which doth owe them. So many have that never touched his hand, sweetly supposed them mistress of his heart. My woeful self, that did in freedom stand, and was my own fee simple, not in part, what with his art in youth, and youth in art, through my affections in his charmed power, reserved the stalk, and gave him all my flower. Yet did I not, as some my equals did, demand of him, nor being desired yielded, finding myself in honour so forbid, with safest distance I mine honour shielded. Experience for me many bulwarks builded, of proofs new bleeding, which remained the foil of this false jewel and his amorous spoil. But who ever shunned by precedent the destined ill she must herself assay, or forced examples, 'gainst her own content, to put the bypast perils in her way? Counsel may stop a while, but will not stay, for when we rage, advice is often seen by blunting us to make our wills more keen. Nor gives it satisfaction to our blood that we must curb it upon others' proof, to be forbod the sweets that seem so good, for fear of harms that preach in our behoof. O appetite, from judgment stand aloof. The one a palate hath that needs will taste, though reason weep and cry it is thy last. For further I could say this man's untrue, and knew the patterns of his foul beguiling, heard where his plants in others' orchards grew, saw how deceits were gilded in his smiling, knew vows were ever brokers to defiling, thought characters and words merely but art, and bastards of his foul adulterate heart. And long upon these terms I held my city, till thus he gan besiege me.
Gentle maid, have of my suffering youth some feeling pity, and be not of my holy vows afraid. That's to ye sworn, to none was ever said. For feasts of love I have been called unto, till now did ne'er invite, nor never woo. All my offences that abroad you see are errors of the blood, none of the mind. Love made them not, with acture they may be, where neither party is nor true nor kind. They sought their shame, that so their shame did find, and so much less of shame in me remains, by how much of me their reproach contains. Among the many that mine eyes have seen, not one whose flame my heart so much as warmed, or my affection put to the smallest teen, or any of my leisures ever charmed. Harm have I done to them, but ne'er was harmed, kept hearts in liveries, but mine own was free, and reigned commanding in his monarchy. Look here, what tributes wounded fancies sent me, of pallid pearls and rubies red as blood, figuring that they their passions likewise lent me, of grief and blushes aptly understood in bloodless white and the encrimsoned mood. Effects of terror and dear modesty, encamped in hearts but fighting outwardly. And lo, behold these talents of their hair, with twisted metal amorously impleached, I have received from many a several fair, their kind acceptance weepingly beseeched, with the annexations of fair gems enriched, and deep-brained sonnets that did amplify each stone's dear nature, worth, and quality. The diamond? Why, 'twas beautiful and hard, whereto his invised properties did tend. The deep green emerald, in whose fresh regard weak sights their sickly radiance do amend, the heaven-hued sapphire and the opal blend with objects manifold. Each several stone, with wit well blazoned, smiled or made some moan. Lo, all these trophies of affections hot, of pensived and subdued desires the tender, nature hath charged me that I hoard them not, but yield them up where I myself must render. That is to you, my origin and ender. For these of force must your oblations be, since I their altar, you empatron me. Oh, then, advance of yours that phraseless hand, whose white weighs down the airy scale of praise. Take all these similes to your own command, hallowed with sighs that burning lungs did raise. What me, your minister for you, obeys, works under you, and to your audit comes their distract parcels in combined sums. Lo, this device was sent me from a nun, a sister sanctified of holiest note, which late her noble suit in court did shun, whose rarest havings made the blossoms dote. For she was sought by spirits of richest coat, but kept cold distance, and did thence remove to spend her living in eternal love. But oh, my sweet, What labour is to leave the thing we have not, mastering what not strives, planing the place which did no form receive, playing patient sports in unconstrained gyves. She that her fame so to herself contrives, the scars of battle scapeth by the flight, and makes her absence valiant, not her might. Oh, pardon me, in that my boast is true. The accident which brought me to her eye upon the moment did her force subdue, and now she would the caged cloister fly. Religious love put out religion's eye. Not to be tempted she would be immured, and now, to tempt, all liberty procured. How mighty then you are, oh, hear me tell! The broken bosoms that to me belong have emptied all their fountains in my well, and mine I pour your ocean all among. I strong o'er them, and you o'er me being strong, must for your victory us all congest, as compound love to physic your cold breast. My parts had power to charm a sacred nun, who disciplined I dieted in grace, believed her eyes when they to sail begun, all vows and consecrations giving place. O most potential love! Vow, bond, nor space in thee hath neither sting, knot, nor confine, for thou art all, and all things else are thine. When thou impressest, what are precepts worth of stale example? When thou wilt inflame, how coldly those impediments stand forth of wealth, of filial fear, law, kindred, fame. Love's arms are peace, 'gainst rule, 'gainst sense, 'gainst shame, and sweetens in the suffering pangs it bears the aloes of all forces, shocks, and fears. Now all these hearts that do on mine depend, feeling it break, with bleeding groans they pine, and supplicant their sighs to you extend, to leave the battery that you make 'gainst mine, lending soft audience to my sweet design, and credent soul to that strong bonded oath that shall prefer and undertake my troth.
This said, his watery eyes he did dismount, whose sights till then were levelled on my face, each cheek a river running from a fount, with brinish current downward flowed apace. Oh, how the channel to the stream gave grace, who glazed with crystal gate the glowing roses that flame through water which their hue encloses. O Father, what a hell of witchcraft lies in the small orb of one particular tear! But with the inundation of the eyes, what rocky heart to water will not wear? What breast so cold that is not warmed here? O cleft effect! Cold modesty, hot wrath, both fire from hence and chill extincture hath. For lo, his passion, but an art of craft, even there resolved my reason into tears. There my white stole of chastity I daft, shook off my sober guards and civil fears, appear to him as he to me appears, all melting, though our drops this difference bore. His poisoned me, and mine did him restore. In him a plenitude of subtle matter, applied to quartals all strange forms receives, of burning blushes, or of weeping water, or swooning paleness, and he takes and leaves in either's aptness, as it best deceives, to blush at speeches rank, to weep at woes, or to turn white and swoon at tragic shows. That not a heart which in his level came could scape the hail of his all-hurting aim, showing fair nature is both kind and tame, and veiled in them did win whom he would maim. Against the thing he sought he would exclaim. When he most burned in heart-wished luxury, he preached pure maid and praised cold chastity. Thus merely with the garment of a grace the naked and concealed fiend he covered, that the unexperient gave the tempter place which like a cherubin above them hovered. Who, young and simple, would not be so loved? Ay me, I fell, and yet do question make what I should do again for such a sake. Oh, that infected moisture of his eye! Oh, that false fire which in his cheek so glowed! Oh, that forced thunder from his heart did fly! Oh, that sad breath his spongy lungs bestowed! Oh, all that borrowed motion seeming owed would yet again betray the fore-betrayed, and new pervert a reconciled maid.
Hark, hark, the lark at heaven's gate sings, and Phoebus 'gins arise, his steeds to water at those springs on chaliced flowers that lies, and winking merry buds begin to ope their golden eyes. With everything that pretty is, my lady sweet, arise, arise, arise.
Over hill, over dale, thorough bush, thorough briar, over park, over pale, thorough flood, thorough fire, I do wander everywhere, swifter than the moon is sphere, and I serve the fairy queen, to dew her orbs upon the green. The cowslips tall her pensioners be, in their gold coat spots you see. Those be rubies, fairy favours, in those freckles live their savours. I must go seek some dewdrops here, and hang a pearl in every cowslip's ear.
Under the greenwood tree, who loves to lie with me, and tune his merry note unto the sweet bird's throat. Come hither, come hither, come hither. Here shall he see no enemy but winter and rough weather. Who doth ambition shun, and loves to live i' the sun, seeking the food he eats, and pleased with what he gets. Come hither, come hither, come hither. Here shall he see no enemy but winter and rough weather. If it do come to pass that any man turn ass, leaving his wealth and ease, a stubborn will to please, Duke dame, Duke dame, Duke dame. Here shall he see gross fools as he, and if he will come to me.
It was a lover and his lass, with a hey and a ho and a hey nonny no, that o'er the green cornfield did pass, in the springtime, the only pretty ring time, when birds do sing, hey ding a ding ding, sweet lovers love the spring. Between the acres of the rye, with a hey and a ho and a hey nonny no, these pretty country folks would lie, in the springtime, the only pretty ring time, when birds do sing, hey ding a ding ding, sweet lovers love the spring. This carol they began that hour, with a hey and a ho and a hey nonny no, how that life was but a flower, in the springtime, the only pretty ring time, when birds do sing, hey ding a ding ding, sweet lovers love the spring. And therefore take the present time, with a hey and a ho and a hey nonny no, for love is crowned with the prime, in the springtime, the only pretty ring time, when birds do sing, hey ding a ding ding, sweet lovers love the spring.
When daisies pied and violets blew, and ladies' smocks all silver white, and cuckoo buds of yellow hue do paint the meadows with delight, the cuckoo then on every tree mocks married men, for thus sings he, cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. O word of fear, unpleasing to a married ear. When shepherds pipe on oaten straws, and merry larks are ploughmen's clocks, when turtles tread, and rooks and daws, and maidens bleach their summer smocks, the cuckoo then on every tree mocks married men, for thus sings he, cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. O word of fear, unpleasing to a married ear.
Blow, blow, thou winter wind, thou art not so unkind as man's ingratitude. Thy tooth is not so keen, because thou art not seen, although thy breath be rude. Hey-ho, sing hey-ho unto the green holly. Most friendship is feigning, most loving mere folly. Then hey-ho the holly, this life is most jolly. Freeze, freeze, thou bitter sky, that dost not bite so nigh as benefits forgot. Though thou the water warp, thy sting is not so sharp, as friend remembered not. Hey-ho, sing hey-ho unto the green holly. Most friendship is feigning, most loving mere folly. Then hey-ho the holly, this life is most jolly.
Take, oh take those lips away, that so sweetly were forsworn, and those eyes, the break of day, lights that do mislead the morn. But my kisses bring again, seals of love, but sealed in vain, sealed in vain.
Who is Silvia? What is she, that all our swains commend her? Holy, fair, and wise is she. The heavens such grace did lend her, that she might admired be. Is she kind, as she is fair? For beauty lives with kindness. Love doth to her eyes repair, to help him of his blindness, and being helped inhabits there. Then to Silvia let us sing, that Silvia is excelling. She excels each mortal thing upon the dull earth dwelling. To her let us garlands bring.
How should I your true love know from another one? By his cockle hat and staff, and his sandal shoon. He is dead and gone, lady, he is dead and gone. At his head a grass-green turf, at his heels a stone. White his shroud as the mountain snow, larded with sweet flowers, which bewept to the grave did go, with true love showers.
The poor soul sat sighing by a sycamore tree, sing all a green willow. Her hand on her bosom, her head on her knee, sing willow, willow, willow. The fresh streams ran by her and murmured her moans, sing willow, willow, willow. Her salt tears fell from her and softened the stones, sing willow, willow, willow. Sing all a green willow must be my garland. I called my love false love, but what said he then? Sing willow, willow, willow. If I court mo women, you'll couch with mo men. Sing willow, willow, willow. Sing all a green willow must be my garland.
Come away, death, and in sad cypress let me be laid. Fly away, breath, I am slain by a fair, cruel maid. My shroud of white, stuck all with you, oh, prepare it. My part of death, no one so true did share it. Not a flower sweet on my black coffin let there be strown. Not a friend greet my poor corse where my bones shall be thrown. 1,000 sighs to save. Lay me, oh, where sad true lover never find my grave, to weep there.
Honor, riches, marriage blessing, long continuance, and increasing hourly joys be still upon you. Juno sings her blessings on you. Earth's increase and foison plenty, barns and garners never empty, vines with clustering bunches growing, plants with goodly burden bowing, spring come to you at the farthest, in the very end of harvest. Scarcity and want shall shun you, Ceres' blessing so is on you.
When that I was and a little tiny boy, with hey-ho, the wind and the rain, a foolish thing was but a toy, for the rain it raineth every day. But when I came to man's estate, with hey-ho, the wind and the rain, 'gainst knaves and thieves men shut their gate, for the rain it raineth every day. But when I came, alas, to wive, with hey-ho, the wind and the rain, by swaggering could I never thrive, for the rain it raineth every day. But when I came unto my beds, with hey-ho, the wind and the rain, with tosspots still had drunken heads, for the rain it raineth every day. A great while ago the world begun, with hey-ho, the wind and the rain. But that's all one, our play is done, and we'll strive to please you every day.
Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. And every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou grow'st. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee.
Mine eye hath played the painter, and hath steeled thy beauty's form in table of my heart. My body is the frame wherein 'tis held, and perspective it is best painter's art. For through the painter must you see his skill, to find where your true image pictured lies, which in my bosom's shop is hanging still, that hath his windows glazed with thine eyes. Now see what good turns eyes for eyes have done. Mine eyes have drawn thy shape, and thine for me are windows to my breast, where through the sun delights to peep, to gaze therein on thee. Yet eyes, this cunning want to grace their art, They draw but what they see, know not the heart.
That thou art blamed shall not be thy defect, for slander's mark was ever yet the fair. The ornament of beauty is suspect, a crow that flies in heaven's sweetest air. So thou be good, slander doth but approve thy worth the greater, being wooed of time, for canker vice the sweetest buds doth love, and thou present'st a pure unstained prime. Thou hast passed by the ambush of young days, either not assailed or victor being charged, yet this thy praise cannot be so thy praise to tie up envy evermore enlarged. If some suspect of ill masked not thy show, then thou alone kingdoms of hearts shouldst owe.
That time of year thou mayst in me behold, when yellow leaves, or none, or few, do hang upon those boughs which shake against the cold, bare ruined choirs where late the sweet birds sang. In me thou seest the twilight of such day as after sunset fadeth in the west, which by and by black night doth take away, death's second self that seals up all in rest. In me thou seest the glowing of such fire that on the ashes of his youth doth lie as the death-bed whereon it must expire, consumed with that which it was nourished by. This thou perceiv'st, which makes thy love more strong, to love that well which thou must leave ere long.
To me, fair friend, you never can be old. For as you were when first your eye I eyed, such seems your beauty still. 3 winters cold have from the forest shook 3 summers' pride. 3 beauteous springs to yellow autumn turned, in process of the seasons have I seen. 3 April perfumes in 3 hot Junes burned, since first I saw you fresh, which yet are green. Ah, yet doth beauty like a dial hand steal from his figure, and no pace perceived. So your sweet hue, which methinks still doth stand, hath motion, and mine eye may be deceived. For fear of which, hear this, thou age unbred, ere you were born was beauty's summer dead.
Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark, that looks on tempests and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. Love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. If this be error, and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved.